How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Figuring It Out Finance Podcast, episode number 86. My name is Chris Rickenbaugh, and I'm documenting my journey in real estate and business while also talking about travel hacking and personal finance. Today's episode is going to be all about mentorships and communities I've either joined or am looking to join. But before we hop into that, go follow me on Instagram and TikTok, where I post daily about what I am doing. And you can listen to the podcast on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and figuringitoutfinance.com, where you'll have all of the links to everything. So today's podcast, it was a little bit of inspiration because I went through another interview for a community that I've been looking to join, and I just wanted to talk about the two that I've joined so far, and then the one which I'll talk about last that I'm looking to join and have been accepted, just working out the details on the down payment because I'm currently in the process of buying two houses and then working on, or I have a third project in progress. So the first one is going to be the Deal Flow Academy. So this is the first mentorship program that I've purchased other than Bigger Pockets, and that was more of just like a membership. But the Deal Flow Academy is by Cam Cathcart, and the reason I joined it was because I was flipping houses, and then I watched his 4-part series called The Four Horsemen, and he's like, hey, here's exactly how I run my deals. So I'm like, all right. So I just completed a flip, and I didn't make the money I wanted. So I'm like, I'm trying to figure out, like, where did this extra $15,000 go? So I ran Cam's numbers exactly how he said in the video, and it came out to exactly I should have bought the property $15,000 lower, and then I would have made that spread. So I'm like, okay, so I know this guy's onto something. I listen to him on the podcast every week. I'm like, I know he's a good person. So I joined his community, all about flipping houses, wholesaling, building your real estate business. It is great for beginners. So, as for me, I've been in it for a while. I've been studying real estate for about 3 years now, and then I've been in the game for a couple months. So, learning what a wholesaler is, like how to talk to a wholesaler, I guess it wasn't exactly for me, but what I'm getting out of this program is, maybe it's not exactly the how-to, but I'm going to be able to be around people who are interested in looking at deals, flipping houses, and then I'm learning from people who have that experience. So one of the guys on there, I'm looking to turn my current house into a medium-term rental, and that is exactly his background in his wheelhouse. He's like, oh, yeah, man, once you get to that point, like, I'll shoot you over my spreadsheet. We can hop on a call and figure out that business, because me and my partner, we want to go do more Airbnbs, and we're getting really, really close to that next step. And moving into this next house hack that's going to be a duplex that we're currently looking to close on this week. That's going to be part of that progress. And then so I'm going to live in one unit, and I'm going to medium term or short term rent the other side. So it's going to be right up that alley. And then I go from 1 to 2 units just like that, moving out of my current house, renting the extra unit in the duplex. So that goes to 2 Airbnbs right away. So things are going to move pretty quickly here once they get going. We just have to close on that property. It'll be about 4 weeks till we get that unit ready. And then we're going to be moving into it, hopefully right around Christmas. So TBD on all of that. But I joined the academy to learn from those people, so I am getting a ton from it. It's interesting when they go a little bit deeper and talk a little bit more about specifics, but how they're running deals for these people who are brand new. They're making it very, very easy to consume and be able to learn from. Like, no question is a stupid question. Everybody's in there learning from these guys. So that is the Deal Flow Academy. I highly check it out if you're in real estate, looking to get into flipping houses, wholesaling, I highly recommend setting up a call with them. And then the second one, so travel hacking is one of the things where I was plain nervous about credit cards in the beginning and didn't have any interest. I'm like, I don't even want to touch this thing. So I'm like, and then I went to renovate my first house, and I'm like, all right, a hard money loan isn't going to be able to do it. So this guy on Bigger Pockets reached out to me and said, hey, here's how you can do this with zero APR credit cards. Just open this one. After 3 months, open the next one. And then after hitting the bonus on that, ask for a $30,000 line of credit. Did exactly what he said, word for word, and it worked out. And something he added along the lines was, and if you do this right, you'll have enough points for a free vacation. I'm like, well, that's interesting. So I eventually dove into it. I started listening to the Travel Mom Squad's podcast way back around their first couple episodes. So I've been with them since probably in the first 5 episodes I started listening, and now they're over 100 episodes. So, great information, great, if you're just looking to get into it. So I used everything they told me to do. I was able to book pretty much a free trip to Hawaii, St. Louis, where we just booked Miami here in that first week of December. And there was another flight to Texas that we used points for. And, looking at that flight, you're going to have to pay $600-700 to be able to fly to Texas. And we did it for $20 total between me and my wife. So, the power of points is huge. I can't stress it enough. And I said, all right, well, if, me and my wife are getting married, it's like, well, her goal is to be able to travel the world. And I'm like, I think we should, dive into this a little bit more, because with how I'm flipping the houses, I'm using credit cards to be able to purchase the materials, and then I get reimbursed by the hard money company. So I'm going to be able to rack up a ton of points. And it's like, what are we going to do with these points? Because I could book it like normal, but being able to learn from the people who are doing this every single day and that this is their life, we're going to be able to really maximize those points. And that is why I joined the Award Travel Academy by the Travel Mom Squad. So right now, I haven't personally dove into the videos, but that's something my wife is working through, and someone who is like completely green and brand new to the travel hacking and the credit cards. She's taking so much from it and being able to learn. So now we're able to start opening up cards in her name. I'm able to refer her. So we're racking up so many points, and it's going to be super, super fun next year once we get into this a little bit farther. So that is why I joined the Award Travel Academy, basically just to learn the finer points about travel hacking, how to really maximize those points, since we're going to be having a lot coming in with flipping houses. So the last one, I actually hopped on a call with this team yesterday, and I got accepted into their group. Just need to work on finding the money for the down payment for the program, which I won't exactly say, but working on getting that down payment, and it is going to be well worth it once I do it. So I'm not even concerned with what I have to pay. It's just, if you got to pay $3,000 for green card fees, it's like, all right, so that's going to be taking a little bit more priority over another mentorship group. But when we do it, it'll be within hopefully the next month or so here. We'll be able to, I know that investment is going to be 10x for sure, just being around high level dudes. So this is the Action Academy community that I'm talking about, and that is run by Brian Lubin. So if you haven't looked him up, go look him up, as well as the others, Cam Cathcart, Travel Mom Squad. But Brian Lubin has started the Action Academy. I've been listening to him for probably about a year now. Read his book, From Passive to Passionate. I've hopped on a call with him, and then we've went back and forth in the DMs a little bit. So, really, really cool guy to be able to learn from. Love the guests that he brings on each week, and then his interviews too, because you learn a little bit more about his story and his mindset. And the mindset is really where I need to be right now, because flipping houses and, coming from not a lot of money, having not a lot of money in my pocket right now, it's like, man, I have to be super, super creative. And the mindset right now to keep going is what I'm getting from his podcast. And I plain just need to be around people who are doing that same thing, because he's working with people who are trying to replace, $20,000 a month income jobs. And that's where I'm just trying to make enough to be able to pay the bills. So one flip is going to be able to pay, 3, 4, 5 months for me. But what if I could eventually buy a business or do land flipping, which is another part of his business, or his somebody in his group that really specializes in that. So if I could focus a little bit more on, the bigger picture, if I'm not just trying to make, $1,000 a month on this rental, or, a couple $100 a month on this rental, it's like I should be shooting for these businesses that are going to be paying me $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month, and putting a little bit more into the active income, which is what my flipping business is going to be. And I've already started thinking like, all right, well, I probably need to hire a VA to be able to get that ball rolling a little bit more, to be able to hit that 10x goal. So 10x is easier than 2x. That's the mindset I'm coming from. So if I want to do 50 deals next year, and I've only done 5 this year, it's like I need to 10x what I'm doing. So that's going to be absolutely insane for me making the calls, but hiring out a VA to be able to make those calls, have more deal flow coming in, then I need to be able to have that time to be able to go out, raise money, meet people. So I'm not going to be the one making the calls. So that 10x mindset and, being around the same people, doing the same things as I want to do, having that 10x mindset and just going for it, that is why I want to join the Action Academy, because his group, speaking to who I spoke with on the phone yesterday, she's got that mindset. She's got a couple businesses. These other people who are joining, they are getting results quickly because of the accountability and how involved they are and how close-knit of a group they talk about. So that's why I'm so excited to be joining that community here in the near future, and I'll definitely update when I officially do, but 100% going to be joining that. Just TBD on the date. So that is all I got for today. So that is the 3 mentorships or communities I'm joining. So I've joined Deal Flow Academy and Award Travel Academy. So Deal Flow is by Cam Cathcart. Award Travel Academy is the Travel Mom Squad. They're all on Instagram. And then the one I'm looking at joining here in the near future that I've got accepted to is the Action Academy by Brian Lubin. So highly, highly recommend checking all those guys out, reading their books, checking out their content, because I've learned so much from it, and that's why I want to talk about it here on the podcast. So I appreciate you tuning in. I will be back on Friday with another episode. So thank you for tuning in to episode number 86 of the Figuring It Out Finance podcast. This is Chris Rickenbaugh signing off.